Hi kiddos, welcome back from vacation. I hope you had a really fun holiday break. Here we go. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen, at group time, Let's sing our ABCs. Let's do our letter sounds. The A says eh, the A says eh. Every letter makes a sound. The A says eh. Remember, he's got an attitude. The B says b. The B says b. Every letter makes a sound. The B says b. The C says k. The C says k. Every letter makes a sound. The C says k. The D says d. The D says d. Every letter makes a sound. The D says d. The E says eh. The E says eh. Every letter makes a sound. The E says eh. The F says f. The F says f. Every letter makes a sound. The F says f. The G says g. The G says g. Every letter makes a sound. The G says g. The H says h. The H says h. Every letter makes a sound. The H says h. The I says I. The I says I. Every letter makes a sound. The I says I. The J says j. The J says j. Every letter makes a sound. The J says j. The K says k. The K says k. Every letter makes a sound. The K says k. The L says ol. The L says ol. Every letter makes a sound. The L says ol. The M says mm. The M says mm. Every letter makes a sound. The M says mm. The N says mm. The N says mm. Every letter makes a sound. The N says mm. The O says ah. The O says ah. Every letter makes a sound. The O says ah. The P says p. The P says p. Every letter makes a sound. The P says p. The Q says qu. The Q says qu. Every letter makes a sound. The Q says qu. The R says r. The R says r. Every letter makes a sound. The R says r. The S says s. The S says s. Every letter makes a sound. The S says s. The T says t. The T says t. Every letter makes a sound. The T says t. The U says The U says Every letter makes a sound. The U says The V says v. The V says v. Every letter makes a sound. The V says v. The W says w. The W says w. Every letter makes a sound. The W says w. The X says x. The X says x. Every letter makes a sound. The X says x. The Y says y. The Y says y. Every letter makes a sound. The Y says y. The Z says z. The Z says z. Every letter makes a sound. The Z says z. Nice. Okay, let's go down here to our numbers. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. Now, what do we have here? Would you look at this? We're going to start learning about shapes. Does anybody know what this is? It's a circle. You're right. And a circle has 0 sides. 0 sides. It just goes round and round and round. And does anyone know what this shape is? It is a square. A square is 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. You are correct.